heartbeat when I'm all alone. I can feel your heartbeat like it's my own. I can hear your music from a million miles away. The angels got it right when they made you the way they made you. Sometimes I wonder if you're made from bones and skin, or are you something for me to begin again? This love.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for coming out today and listening live to me here and learn a little bit more about Ponant. So I'm going to tell you today that I would like to be your guide here with Ponant. So welcome. So let's go ahead and get started. This, of course, is a picture of myself, and I'm located here in South Florida. I've worked for Ponant for the last 2 years. I have a long history in the travel industry, and I cover the southeast region for Ponant. So it consists of several states, but I'm here in Florida, so your account would be my account. So very happy to have you. And of course, you can take note of my information if you'd like to reach me for any bookings or anything like that you may need help with. So let's start off where it all began. I think that's the best place to always start. So you know the history of Ponant. You may not realize, but we are 30 years old. So we're not just a newcomer in the industry. And how the company actually started in 1988 was a group of French merchant marine captains who were very big into expedition and exploration. They started Ponant. And one of them is still with us today. His name is Jean-Emmanuel Sauvé, and this is him. You see his picture here. And he is the CEO of the company. Now, you might recognize that the name and Jean-Emmanuel, what does that sound like? French. Yes, Francais. So we are a French company, and we have several ships in our fleet. And to go back just a little bit, about 2.5 years ago, the company was actually sold to a French family, the Ponant family, based out of Marseille, France. And they are very well established in the luxury market. They own products like Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, Stella McCarthy, Christie's Art Auction, the Chateau Latour wineries, plus about 30 other companies. I don't know the extent of all the names of them, but overall, just to give you an idea of their financial beings, which is very, very healthy. And the story is, and this is true, that the mother actually went on one of the Ponant's ships. She sailed, and she came back, and she asked her son, Francois, to buy the company. And guess what? He was a good son, and he bought his mother and the family. Then he bought himself a cruise line. So what he got with that was the flagship you see here, the La Ponant, and that is a 3-mast sail ship, which is only 62 guests. And this ship actually sails in the Caribbean in the winter time. We also have it doing some Cuba itineraries. And then in the summertime, you will find it doing some really beautiful Mediterranean itineraries. We also have 4 of these small, beautiful yachts, all built within the last 7 years. They range in size from 244 to 264. And they travel all 7 continents over 80 countries. and they are the newest small ship fleet out there. Now, you might recognize some of the names of the companies. Of the ships. We start with the La Boreal, which was built in 2010, the La Austral in 2011, the La Soriel in 2013, and the La L'Oreal in 2015. They're all 264 passengers, except the La L'Oreal, which was built with 20 less passengers. We put more suites on the La L'Oreal instead of more passengers. And then we have the La Ponant, which is 64 guests. We have 132 staterooms and suites on the 4 yachts. They have 140 crew. And when we sail in Antarctica, which right now we have all 4 of these yachts in Antarctica, and we only fill them to 199 guests. And we do this because when we take the guests to the landing, we can only have 100 guests on the landing at a time. So while one half of the group is out exploring on the Zodiacs, the other half is on the landing, and everyone gets to go to the landing. So that's very important for you to know, because there are bigger ships that do this, and not everybody gets to go, or they just cruise on by. So I would be disappointed if I went to Antarctica and then get off and to the landing and see all the penguins and all that going on there. So on board these beautiful ships, we have 2 restaurants, 2 lounges, 2 bars, a theater, pool, spa, fitness center, library. What we don't have on them is we do not have a casino. But that's not what this product is about. What we are selling is the destination. And our ships are a truly cultural and experience type product, destination oriented. But the ships are icing on top of the cake. We also have marine activities that launch at the stern of the ship, which I'll show you a photo on that too. Now, these ships are not only beautiful, but they're very smart, and they're all purposely built for expedition. So what does that include? That includes silent electric propulsion systems. So they're very, very quiet ships. We don't want to disturb the marine life and the wildlife while we're out there exploring. We have dynamic positioning. What this allows us to do is to stay in position without dropping anchor, so we don't disturb any marine life. Also, we have the advanced wastewater treatment. We have far-sounding sonar, so we can hear ahead of us, so we don't hit anything we don't want to or shouldn't. We also have 3D ocean floor mapping, and what this does is it allows us to map the ocean floor and share this information in possibility of other ships maybe some days going in these most remote areas. We also have LED and CFR lighting technology. These ships also have ice class hulls, of course, as well. Where we have positioned ourselves in the marketplace is very unique. We have what we've successfully done is combine 3 things: luxury with expedition and access. So if you look at a traditional expedition, these are ships that are in the 20 to 180 guests. They're usually retrofitted ships. They're refurbished to travel for expedition, and they have the expedition technology. They're very short on having a lot of lounges, and usually they don't have balconies or suites or but they're comfortable ships. We call them comfort ships. And you could probably picture who I'm putting into that particular category. Then you have the luxury small ships. These are those guys that are in the 400 to 700 passenger range. They are new purpose-built ships. They have luxury accommodations, large public areas. They probably maybe have a casino. They have balconies, butler service, fine dining, unique itineraries and well-traveled areas and lectures, all that stuff. But remember what I said, there are more passengers to go to these areas that their guests are just not going to get to do all the things that our guests will get to do being on a small ship. So there we are right in the middle with the expedition and the luxury, ranging from 62 to 264 guests with new purpose-built ships. They're all clean ships with all the expedition technology with the naturalists and the zodiacs. amazing itineraries. You know, we have some of the most unique itineraries because we have small ships that can go very remote. We do have butler service in the suites, and these beautiful yachts that you just saw, they are 95% balconies. So let's go ahead and step on board Ponant. Here you can see one of the staterooms. They are beautifully decorated, very smart, sophisticated, contemporary decor with all the nice amenities in them. They have balconies, 95% on these ships, so there's only 8 staterooms that do not have balconies. This is a picture of the owner's suite. It's 484 square feet with a 97 square foot balcony. This is this picture of the stateroom. This is actually the Prestige suite opened up to a Prestige stateroom, where we've opened up this wall here, and you can actually accommodate four guests, 4 people. In the staterooms and suites, we have a very spacious accommodations. We also have king or twin beds. We have shower or tub. We also have mini bar, safe, hair dryer, makeup mirror, robes, slippers, 110 or 220 voltage. We have the L'Occitane or the Hermes bath amenities. So everything you would find just like in a fine hotel. We also have room service as well. These are the deluxe suites. Now, we have 4 of the yachts. They're all a different color scheme. This is just one of them. Our smallest staterooms are going to be the deluxe staterooms in the Superior. The deluxe, you can see, still has a private balcony. The Superior are only staterooms that do not have balconies, but they are quite large, and they actually have a day bed in there, so they will accommodate 3 people. The ships are all identical except for the L'Oreal, which I mentioned earlier, is 20 less guests. It has more suites. And the ships are all fully ADA compliant. So we have an elevator in the front, an elevator in the back that will go from the bottom to the top. We also have chair lifts on all the stairways as well. And we have 3 handicapped cabins on the ship. So on the back of the ship, we have a nice swimming pool. Above that, we have an open air bar on deck 7, which I think would be really nice when you're in the Med, sailing in the Med. We have 2 lounges, the main lounge. In the main lounge, we do have entertainment in here. We always have a piano player and a singer. We also do games and different kinds of events in here. We also usually have the passengers meet here to go off on the shore excursions or out on the Zodiacs. The observatory lounge is in the front of the ship, and it's a really nice area with panoramic viewing, so you can watch the whales or the dolphins. And we have a theater that will accommodate all of our guests at one time. In the theater, we have the naturalists, we have the historians, we have lecturers. In the evening, we have entertainment, we have performers, dancers, musicians that will entertain here in the theater. We also have a library, and of course we have a really wonderful Sodhi spa with all different types of treatments, and a fitness center. So no excuses. You can go to the fitness center. You can't blame it on us if you eat too much of the French food. So what we've got coming now is really exciting for us because we're getting ready to introduce 4 new beautiful yachts. These yachts are considered our Explorer class. And what we did was we built them smaller so they can go further. And so I come from the old river cruise lines for many years. So I like to compare it to a river cruise line in length because these are actually 20 feet shorter than a river cruise ship. But of course, they are wider and they are taller. These are only 184 guests, and they are 100% balconies. Here you can see we have a crew of 110, and these are being built with the latest environmental technology. We have the first one coming out in June, which is just a few months away, and that is called the La Perouse. And then we have in September the La Champlain. Next year in 2019, we'll have the La Bougainville and the La Dumont d'Urville. Of course, these are all French names. These are all French explorers that the ships are named after. They are decorated with a very ethnic, chic, universe interior, and they will go only in tropical and subtropical regions. So we're going to do, of course, the Med, the Baltics, British Isles, Japan. We'll do Iceland. We'll go down to Costa Rica, Papua New Guinea, and the Indian Ocean. So only in tropical regions, and I'll show you why in a second. So here is just a little bit more detail. It will have 2 restaurants, 2 lounges, swimming pool, spa, fitness center, theater, and so all the things like the big ships have, only it's going to be a smaller ship. So here you can see some of the beautiful interior. It's decorated very light. I like how they decorate the ships with light color scheme tones. They're not dark woods, so they're very happy. Even if it's a rainy or bad day, it's always bright and sunny on board the ships. So they're really smart, sophisticated looking ships, elegant, that are going to be very, very tastefully decorated. Each one, of course, will be decorated different color schemes. And that's pretty neat sauna up there, huh? And this is a picture of the owner's suite. And it's got like a 400 and some square foot balcony. I mean, and the room is almost 500 square feet. Yeah, it's very nice. But they're all quite large. It's pretty nice. And then what's very exciting, and I told you they're only going to go in tropical and subtropical regions. This is a large part of the reason, is the first ever underwater lounge that was designed by Jacques, not Jacques Cousteau, but another Jacques architecture. And this has never been done before. What we have done is built an underwater lounge that's going to be in the hull of the ship. So it's actually underwater. And it's the windows in the shape of a blue, what we call a blue eye, after a whale. So what we have done is we put cameras and on the outside of the ship, and we're piping in the visual as well as the audio. So you'll see the marine life as well as if they want to choose to come by the window. But you're going to get to see that. Then the furniture itself is all multi-sensory. So the whole idea is that you will feel like you are part of the ocean, as opposed to, somebody else that's building a submarine that you go down in a small submarine. Here you can just go down to the lounge, and the lounge will accommodate 40 guests at one time. And I did have a flyer out there on the table for you with all the specifics of this amazing feat never done before, this underwater lounge. Yes, there's a bar in there. Gotta have that. Yes. Are we on the next Okay, we're almost to the video on it. So not only does it have this amazing underwater lounge, but we've got all the sports activities at the back. You can see the infinity pool. We've got boats for deep sea fishing. We have, of course, the Zodiacs. We have kayaks, whalers, paddle boards. You can swim, snorkel, dive, water ski here, all off the back of the ship. It's almost like your own private yacht. Can you imagine? And as what size they are, there are yachts out there that are bigger than these ships. And our owner actually has one, so we know it's true. And here you can see the multi-level marina, which is a hydraulic platform system, which allows for different heights. And also easy embarkation and disembarkation for the Zodiacs during the expedition cruises, and easy access for ocean swimming and water sports. Okay, now I have a nice video for you. I hope you enjoy. about the Great Lakes. So we have some more opportunities for the ships coming here to the U.S., like the Great Lakes, which we're going to be doing from Milwaukee to Quebec. Yes, that's great. We also are going to have some San Diego, Vancouver, and of course, in the fall we do the New York or Boston to Quebec itineraries. So some more opportunities for you to see. Round trip, round trip. Yeah, we have a couple sailings, like 2, 3, 4 sailings. So just want to point those out. Now I have another this one is a shorter video coming up next, which is specifically on the Blue Eye Lounge, just to show you some more detail on that. The videos? Yes, I do. I do. I'll be happy to send them to you or send them to you here at Cruise.com. So enjoy the Blue Eye video here. Okay, so we'll continue on here. So let's talk a little more about what life is like on board the ships. The dress on board the ships is what we call casual elegance. We don't require jackets, ties, evening gowns, tuxedos. It's very low key, not pretentious or intimidating. It's more like a country club casual on board. Whoops. One more slide the other way. Okay, so as earlier said, we are French line, so we do have 2 languages that we speak on board, French and English. So bonjour, I don't know how many of you speak French, I don't myself, but we do 2 languages on board. We have everything available in English, so that would be your daily program, your shore excursions, your menu, all of the crew speak English as well. So we're used to dealing with the U.S. market. We have probably over 50% come from the U.S. market between what we sell and between the different tour operators that sell our product too. So there's not a problem there on board with the language. Of course, we have wonderful French-inspired cuisine, and we have the wonderful champagnes and macaroons and butters and wine. It's just really scrumptious. Of course, we do have local cuisine as well and American fare as well. I'm an iced tea drinker, so they do always have iced tea. And so I like the fact that, they've paid attention to what we like to have here too. As you can see, these folks are dining in the dining room. We have the main dining room. And then we also have the grill buffet, which is upstairs by the pool area. There's an inside area and outside for dining. And this is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you can choose to eat here if you like in the dinner. We take reservations because it doesn't accommodate all the guests at one time. Or you can choose to dine in the main dining room, whichever you prefer. We also have butler service in the suites. And our excursions, I'm talking about the excursions on those programs that do not include the excursions. So I'm talking about our traditional yachting part of our itineraries. You would be able to buy the excursions on board, or you can purchase them ahead of time with our reservations. And on board, we use the euro as our onboard currency. Who are our guests? Our guests are, we have a very high repeat factor, first of all, because we're never going to run out of itineraries for them to do. We have 50% repeat within the first 3 years. We have an international affluent clientele. 1 in 4 guests are new to cruising, and 1 in 2 guests are new to Ponant. Of course, they're intellectually curious, they're well-traveled, and they're looking for off the beaten path. And that's exactly what we can offer to them because our itineraries are so unique that these places that we're able to go. Our guests, the average age is 58. You can find them as young as 10 or up to 90 on our expedition cruises. It really just matters, their adventurous spirit. That's our clientele. Someone with adventure spirit, somebody likes to explore, self-discovery. They're going for the emotion of the destination, not just going to the destination. Because as I said earlier, we are a destination cruise line, and, our ships are really nice on top of that, but we're selling the destination. Here you can learn from other cultures, like here in Papua New Guinea, or from other species, and taking you to some very remote destinations, all by our lonesome out there. And I'm going to show you in just a little bit, we're even going further remote. So these are our unique global itineraries. I mentioned the areas that we do here in the U.S. We also do the Alaska Inside Passage, as well as an Expedition Alaska. Very big, of course, is our Antarctica. If you take anything away today, remember, if you have someone interested in Antarctica, you want to think of Ponant first. We have a lot of experience there, a lot of expeditions under our belt. We have 4 ships there right now, so we have a lot of product. And remember, we only sell the ships to $199, and our price point is very moderate for being luxury. We're often thousands of dollars less than any of our competitors in Antarctica because we put it out very early, and we start at 30% off. So also you can see South America, Central America. We've got a lot of itineraries there. Of course, over in the Med, Northern Europe, Baltics, British Isles, Japan, Iceland, Asia, Seychelles. We do the Kimberley Coast in Western Australia. We do South Africa. Beautiful Dalmatian coast itineraries. These are really nice because the ship can hug the coastline. We can dock right in Venice, and we have some unusual ports that we can stop and get into that you won't see on other competitors' programs. We have Northern Europe and the Baltics. Now, some of these, they sell out very, very early. We put our programs out a little over a year and a half in advance, and we start, remember, with the great pricing, the introductory pricing, and we sell it very far in advance. So if you're interested, do encourage your client to book early. They're going to get the best pricing, and they're going to get the best availability. Our Japan is very popular. That's usually sold out as soon as it comes out, pretty much. So you just got to grab it. Sometimes you have to wait for the next year. But the Seychelles, we just really don't mess around. They put it out early and they sell it. They get a little bit scared if something has any availability at 7 months before. They just work very differently, the French lines. We do a lot of charters. We work with tour operators. As you know, we work with A&K, who charters about 12 to 15 times a year. They take the whole ship and resell it, package it. Then we also work with Tauk in their small ship cruising, and they're expanding their small ship cruising. And what they've always done is groups. They sell into our ships with our guests, and they bring their own escorts. If it's Med, a non-expedition sailing, they'll do their own tour. And they usually repackage it with a pre or post. But now we've got the new smaller ships coming, so they're going to be doing more charters instead of groups. So, we have a lot of customers that come back after they bid on Tauk. They want to do something else on us because they love the ships and the food and the whole experience. This is our Western Australia the Kimberly Coast, which is great at expedition sailing. You're out exploring on the Zodiacs. I would love to do that. And we also have Cuba, of course, too. We do Cuba on our small ship, the La Ponant. And it is strictly Cuba. You can see we start in Santiago de Cuba. We include the flight from Miami down to Santiago de Cuba. We end in Havana and come back, fly back. So it's a very nice program. We have either a 7 or 8 night program. We have just 2 departures for this year. One's in March and one is in April. We do more departures, but the ship gets chartered. So we have quite a few charters on Cuba, but these are the 2 sailings that we're selling. So we have 2 different types of cruising that we offer, and I've kind of mentioned this already, but we don't just do expedition. Expedition is about half the product line. The other half is traditional yachting. So what's the difference? Traditional yachting is going to be when the ship is docked in a port. You know, these would be places like the Med and the Baltics and Iceland, these areas. Also, what we would include on the traditional yachting is your port taxes, your gratuities, and your open bar. But your shore excursions would be a la carte. Then you have the expedition. Expedition is different. The expedition, the ship is usually moored offshore. And we take the Zodiacs in and explore. That would be areas like the Arctic, the Antarctica, South America, Kimberly Coast, New Guinea. On the expeditions, everything is included. Port taxes, gratuities, open bar, and all your shore excursions or shore landings are included. Those, we have an expedition team. We're going out exploring on the Zodiacs. We have the naturalists. If you're doing the polar expeditions, we're giving you a expedition parka. You've got the boots that we give you to use while you're there. We do a lot of lectures and things like that. So those are the 2 different types. And Ponant is the leader in luxury expedition and polar cruises. These are our most popular is the Antarctica, the 11-day, 10-night, or you can choose the longer, the Great Austral Loop, which will take you also to the other side with the Falkland Islands, South Georgia, and the Antarctic Peninsula. And that's where you'll see the king penguins. Okay, but you'll see a lot of penguins overall in Antarctica. Has anyone been to Antarctica? Nobody? You know, these are all kind of like bucket lists. It used to be Alaska. Now it's Antarctica, you know. And of course, the little penguins are waiting our ship, and they are all dressed for us. Aren't they cute? They are cute. And there's all different kinds of penguins, as you can see, and seals, and different types of birds, and whales as well. And of course, the ice scapes as well. And most of the ice scape is underwater. That's just the part on the outside. And then we have the Arctic. Here you can see our very popular Iceland program. We do round trip Reykjavik, and we do that in June and July. It sells out very, very early, so you have to book it really as soon as it comes out. This is the Aurora Borealis, but we're not there at that in Iceland at that time. That's usually September. Here you can see also the stunning scenery. In the Arctic is where you're going to see the polar bears. Has anyone done the Arctic? No? Where's all my explorers? Are you guys going to start exploring? Saving. So here the polar bears they're curious about us here, as you can see. You're going to see a lot of different wildlife in the Arctic and different fauna and, of course, different birds. Those are the puffins in the middle there. You see a lot of those in Iceland, but they don't want to come visit you. They stay out on their little pods out there in the water, and they don't come in, but they're cute, really cute. This is an example of the small ship access. This is the Lemur Channel, but the small areas we can get to. We do have an open bridge, too, where the captain is. You can go to the bridge, and, of course, he's going to explain all of the equipment there, but he's always on the lookout for marine and wildlife. I mean, he's the biggest explorer of all, the captain. And you can see here how we launch the Zodiacs from the back of the ship, which works the best for us because there's less motion back there. And here, the Zodiacs. There's two whales very, very close. And we didn't Photoshop that either. I said, has any whale ever gotten underneath one of those Zodiacs? And thankfully, it never happened. But they like to kind of show off sometimes. Here you can see the world-class experts, the naturalists who are so excited to tell you about the penguins or wildlife or the gestation, environment, whatever. It's really great time to ask all your questions. Now, because we do all these areas, we've decided to take you even further. So Ponant announced just a few weeks ago that we're building the first ever hybrid hydraulic icebreaker ship. And it's going to take you further remote where the others don't go. So we're talking beyond the North Pole. In the Weddell Sea or the Ross Sea. These are all new places to me. And these are really, really explorers that are going beyond, because there's ships that go there, but they're not luxury ships. They're usually like, they're for the guys that are, will go to beyond the North Pole. So it's very exciting for us. And this new ship will come out in 2021. So we're really looking ahead. The ship will be 135 staterooms, so it's 270 guests. And it will be quite nice. And it's about 20 feet longer than a river cruise ship. So about 460 feet, somewhere in that range. So it's going to be small, but it'll be luxury. You get out there, you explore, you come back to all the creature comforts. So here's just a small photo here. We don't have a huge amount of information on it yet. Of course, we're not selling it yet. They're planning all the programs and so forth. But we do have a nice video that we'll show you on the new icebreaker. Well, it's certainly going to be the first. So you can see that Ponant is really leading in expedition and technology and new things on the ship. So they're always looking for new things for explorers. Okay, so now some fun things, because we have these beautiful small ships, we can do a lot of very unique things. One of them is our themed cruises, which we call the Quintessential Collection. This here is actually one of the music themed cruises, but we have a quite a few different kinds that we do. I brought the brochure here for the gardening cruise. And we do have Christie's art auction themed cruise. We have a food and culinary cruise, themed cruise. We also have a wine themed, which is very nice. We have World War II. We have photography, astronomy. We also have some for Antarctica and the Arctic that are specially themed. And so most of these, everything is packaged in for you, usually a pre-hotel as well. And other very importantly is that these are only English speaking programs. So they're only going to be offered to the US and British and Australian market. Okay. So, if any of these interest you, I think, if you want to promote any of them, we can get you more information, or you can see out here on the gardening cruise how we made the little brochure on it. And we can get you some of those because we're making them on each one of the themed cruises. Okay. Because it's our responsibility to sell these here in the English speaking market. So if you've been to our website, you can see that you can click for special interest. That's where you're going to find the theme cruises, like the birding, food, wine, art, history, diving. Got diving if you have any divers. So you'll find that on our website. Our opportunities. These are 4 of our brochures right now. We're the queen of brochures. We make a lot of different types of brochures. And I will say we have some of the most beautiful marketing material you'll find. So if you see the brochures, when you look, we start off on our pricing. We do list our pricing in the brochure. We start at 30% off. Those are called our Ponant bonus fares. You book early, you can save up to 30% off. As the ship fills up, then that discount decreases. We also have for solo travelers, we have at least 30 dates all the time that we've reduced the single supplement. That means no single supplement. Okay? That means they're getting their stateroom, they're paying just the per person rate without having to pay the additional. So do check that out if you have someone single. We do also have dates that we have reduced single supplements. Those we don't list on the website. You'd have to call reservations, but these are all capacity controlled, these solo traveler fares. We have a small group incentive. This is 6 or more passengers traveling together. We do give an additional 5% discount, and that can be combined with whatever the Ponant bonus fare is at that time. We have all different types of flyers and things. We can help you if you want to promote anything specifically. We can customize it for you. These are just a few of them. I also put these on here too, just so you can see some of the price point. We've got some really beautiful Mediterranean itineraries, and that you could go for $3,200 for a week. And these are on our new yachts, and everyone has a balcony. So that's less than some of these big cruise lines, and you're on with so many people. Ours are more intensified because we can get into more ports. You're in a much smaller ship, much easier to get on and off. All these great things about, and actually, going to some really different places. We do a lot of charters. If you're thinking really big, maybe you could actually fill a charter anywhere from 62 to 264. I know people have filled a river cruise ship before at 184. You can fill one of our yachts, really, and we can customize it for you. So it's all possible. These are some other tools. Please pick up the sales guide that's out here, because this is going to tell you everything I told you today, pretty much. And it has the deck plans for all the ships, the history, what's life on board, our group policy, all this kind of stuff you'll find in the sales guide. The voyage calendar, I don't have any of those here today. I'm out of those. If you registered on our agent site, the Ponant Pro, you can go to Ponant.com. And you can look down at the bottom, and there is an area that says Ponant Pro. You can click on that and put in your agency code, which is 15140, and register yourself to have access. Our Ponant Pro has a live booking engine. It also has our image library on there. It has the sales guide, and it has an e-learning program on it too. So I'll wrap it up here with my information for you again. My card is out here. I want to thank you so much for your attention today. Merci from the little penguin and me. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, sir. Your commission is 14%, and that's on everything. I think air is 10, but everything else is 14. Yeah. Yes. Yes, they are. Anyone else? Yes, Carol, please.
Had 2 people sailed from Bali to Hong Kong. They loved it, just loved it. My commission check was $3,800, so it's worth it to get to know this product.
Thank you, Carol. And it's nice doing business with you anytime. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, the videos are actually in our image library, but if you like, I can send you the videos by a Hightail link, and they can download them if they wish. Okay? Yes. Yes. There's not cabins for 4. There's cabins for 3, but as you saw, the Prestige suite and the Prestige stateroom, they can open up, and then you can have 4. We do have connecting cabins. Those would be considered connecting cabins, the Prestige staterooms and the Prestige suites. Okay, and there's quite a few of them. Okay, well, thank you so much for your attention. Have a great weekend.